Hey there, music world. John here from What's Spinning, here tonight to chat about this latest release from Mitski. It's called Nothing Is About to Happen to Me. Now, if you don't know, Mitski is a singer-songwriter and an indie legend, a modern indie legend, who, ever since her debut many years ago, began wearing her heart on her sleeve and turned vulnerability into its own language. Her debut album, Lush, had some great moments like Brand New City, but at the end of the day, I just kind of felt like she was wearing her influences way too much on her sleeve. Just sounded like she listened to a crap ton of Fiona Apple and hopped in the studio. I had a lot of the same feelings on retiring from SAD, new career in business. I mean, you could definitely hear the gears turning deep down. There were some great moments, but overall it still wasn't really connect. But when she really started adding a little bit more flavor to her music with Bury Me at Makeout Creek, I became an overnight fan. The performances were a lot sharper here, and the emotional edge to this record had a lot more teeth to it. Puberty 2 only saw her grow more by bringing in even more lo-fi guitars, as well as a dreamy sort of hazy pop edge to it. And at first I was lukewarm, but this really does deserve all the accolades it got at the time. And since then, Mitski has only taken off more. Be the Cowboy, gigantic record. It just, it told you that it was a pop record, but it felt enormous, yet really sentimental and direct at the same time. Around that time, she did take a little hiatus, but returned with Laurel Hell, which showed her take a big step into the world of synth pop, bringing up these very 80s style synthesizers and retro production, and honestly, she did it a lot of good. Even her last record, This Land Is Inhospitable and So Are We, showed her taking much more of a classic folk route and doing it a lot of justice. Now, leading up to this thing, Mitski's been on a hell of a roll. She dropped a few singles leading up to this thing, which I thought were pretty good, but more than anything, it just amazed me how she is still continuing to push herself and try new sounds. Let's chat about this thing. Sound starts off with In a Lake. It's a very warm, rootsy, folky opener. It's stripped down, it's bruised, and it's quietly confident, much like a lot of Mitski's music. Her vocal performance here is very soft, it's very hushed, it sounds almost confessional at times, and I feel like a decade ago this track would have aggravated me. But for right now, this is the perfect tone setter for this record. It brings in the emotional weight of this record. Also, really love Where's My Phone. I've loved it since it dropped as a single, one of her more memorable recently. It's noisy, it's chaotic, it's got a weird swagger to it as well. And Mitski's performance over this almost Django pop instrumental, it is really something. I mean, she glides over this. And honestly, it's pretty fearless. And yes, there is a very classic sort of alternative pop feel to this track, but she makes this track sound, somewhat scrappy yet timeless. I really do love the very soft and elegant Cats as well. I mean, Mitski's written plenty of very sweet ballads, but this one has a lot of character. It's a gentle track, but it's certainly not empty. I really do love the visual lyrics as well. It's genuinely adorable at points. And If I Leave brings in a serious sense of drama. The pacing on this one very creeps along. It's a very different flavor for this record, but then we get this chorus, which really is just like this very big, colorful blast. And yes, I could argue that, it does sound like we've been down this direction with Mitski in the past, but her performance here, she absolutely owns it. This is a great track. I will say, however, by this point in the record, while I'm not having a bad time, I will say I wish that Mitski took a few more risks. Leading up to this thing, I was, impressed by the depth of the singles leading up to this thing. I thought this was going to be a very colorful, risk-taking project from Mitski. But then we get to tracks like Dead Women, and things start falling apart just a little for me. I mean, the strings are really nice, the atmosphere is lovely, but Mitski's performance here is just so sleepy and uninterested that it really doesn't add anything to the emotion behind this project. I mean, for somebody who's been such a towering presence in emotional indie rock for a decade, this track doesn't feel like it's okay. It just feels, underwhelming. I'll Change For You. This was one of the singles leading up to this project. Initially, I was okay with it, but it's actually lessened on me hearing it within the record. The instrumentation is beautiful, and the sentiment is gorgeous as well. But emotionally, this track is watered down. I feel like we've been down this path way too many times. And Lightning, as a finale, it's just kind of okay. The bass line here is charming. There's some intrigue in the atmosphere, I'll give it that. And it does eventually pay off, but it's just not the sort of sharp track that I was hoping that I wish that we heard for a finale here. The payoff doesn't fit. So yeah, this isn't the most game-changing record in Mitski's discography like I was hoping that it would be, but still, I don't hate this. Take, for example, Instead of Here. This is a major highlight, one of the best deep cuts here. The sunny ambiance and the alt-country slide guitar on this track, hell yes. I love how intimate this track is, and I love Mitski's songwriting here, very close to her chest. Really love Rule. vocals as well. The alt country vibes continue to shine through. I could have taken 5 more tracks in this vein. It's another very rootsy folk track with some alt country twang as well as some brass. Oh god, and it's just so warm. It's so inviting. I'd love to hear a whole record in this style. The White Cat, on the other hand, has some teeth to it. I love the urgency here, the pounding drums. This track has some real teeth to it. I love the opening guitar line. Even Mitski's performance just seems a little bit more unhinged. I also really love the backing vocals and the build up to the final chorus here. This just seems like a much more unhinged sound for this record. I wish we heard more of it. And Charon's Obol late in the record is another all country leaning tune, this one with a much more nocturnal vibe to it. The strummed riff, the backing vocals, the strings, it's all gravy. So yeah, this is the most game-changing record from Mitski, as I was praying that it would be. You know, I did really like the singles, and a lot of the deep cuts on here are great too. Not only that, but the second half of this record is incredibly consistent, leading into a much more alt country side. I wish we heard more of that. But at the end of the day, this is a very solid record from Mitski. She's definitely still on a roll in indie right now. I'm feeling a decent 7 on this album. Let me know what you all think down below. If you like the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe. If you're feeling froggy, turn those notifications on, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, friends.